There is a fell voice on the air. Welcome to Primary Technology, the show about the tech news that matters. We're still talking about the Apple event, iPhone Air, iPhone 17, AirPods Pro 3, but also a bunch of discoveries that have come out since the event. And we have a very special guest with us who is live on the show floor so he can give us his hands-on impressions of all the phones. I really need his help choosing a color, so we're going to get right to it. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Robles. Jason is here, back at home. Thanks for being here, Jason.
I owe an apology to all of our listeners because I feel like our last episode was not my best work, but that's fine.
At least we weren't streaming live. You know what I mean? I feel
If only.
I was just kidding. But no, this is going to be a great episode because we have, for the first time on Primary Tech, friend of the show, Chance Miller. Chance Miller, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've already earned the friend of the show, friend of the show name.
Well, we've actually met in person.
Yes, we have.
We met at WWDC. We spent a lot of time. You only agreed to be on the show if I only share 9to5Mac articles for this episode, and so that's not actually true. But I'm also doing that because you guys had great coverage.
Well, thank you.
And we're like neighbors, right? Sort of? Almost? Kind of?
I'm in Kalamazoo. Where are you?
We're on the west side of Lansing, so not that far.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. You guys could actually do a live something or other.
Yeah, well, I got room in my studio. There's a really comfy chair back there. You could have just come had a seat. So
there you
I'm
go.
on my way.
Right.
Chance, Jason usually tries to guess the movie quote. I thought maybe you had a chance this time. There's a fell voice on the air. It's a short quote, but if you're a fan of these movies, you might get it. Any idea?
Zero idea.
Are you not a Lord of the Rings fan?
Nope. I've never seen Lord of the Rings, never seen Star Wars.
Well, thanks for being on the show, Chance. We'll catch you next time.
Do you not
wait,
remember?
did you say you never seen Star Wars?
Do you not remember, because I know you chimed in at the time, on Happy Hour, I mispronounced Tatooine as Tattoon or something, and Mayo posted it on Threads, and everybody made fun of me. So yeah, that shows my knowledge.
I don't even know how to proceed now. Not ever seeing... Okay. Well, Jason, did you know the quote? Did you know that?
I knew it was Lord of the, I couldn't tell you which one, but I know it's Legolas that says it. So
that is correct. Well,
but I don't know which of the three.
It's Fellowship of the Ring, but that's fine.
Okay. That's kind of what I would have thought, but yeah.
Yeah, I would accept Lord of the Rings. I will say, kind of related, Chance won't know this because he's never seen Star Wars, but I keep going back and forth between the iPhone 17 Pro colors, and then Joe on Threads sent me this image of Luke in his Hoth gear. He's all the colors. He's all the iPhone colors, and it made me like them all now. I appreciate each one equally. Anyway.
I do not.
Chance, I need your help in a second choosing which phone to buy. And so we're going to get into that. Before we do, I just want to do two quick plugs. Number one, St. Jude Fundraisers going on all September. We've joined with Relay.fm. Someone who named themselves Coron here gave $1,000 for the Primary Tech campaign with Jude. Thank you so much. We've now almost surpassed what we did last year with that one donation. So keep going. We want to hit 5,000 this month. I think we can do it. So that link is in the show notes. And also, I want to hear from you. Leave us a voice memo. You can actually record a little audio message. I will play it on the next episode. What iPhone, if any, or Apple Watch or AirPods are you buying? We want to hear. Or if you just can't decide, I want to hear your internal monologue as well. Send us a message, and I can't wait to play it on the next show. So that'll be fun. All right, Chance, I have so many questions.
All right, hit me.
First, I want to start with AirPods Pro 3. Again, I will only share 9to5Mac articles while you're with us on this episode.
Well, hold on. I think you should explain why. In case our listeners don't know who Chance is.
My good, thank you. You do. Go ahead. You do it because
you're the editor-in-chief of 9to5, right? Like,
correct. Yes.
Okay. I don't know that it was obvious why you chose. Kept saying I'm going to only show 9to5Mac.
I thought he was a man. I thought he was a man who needed no introduction.
That might be true.
My ego just went so much higher.
I'm not implying that people didn't know who he was. I just feel like we should make things clear just in case.
Thank you very much. Chance is kind of a big deal if it wasn't clear before. Editor-in-chief of 9to5Mac. Great site, which I will share now. AirPods Pro 3, you had a great article here. You, I think, were the ones who shared, and it was a recent discovery, that live translation is not just going to be on the Pro 3. Mm-hmm. If you have AirPods Pro 2, even AirPods 4 with iOS 26, you'll actually get that live translation feature, which I think makes it even more widely accessible across the world, people who have that. But here's my real question. You were there at the event, and presumably you got to see these on the tables. How are the foam tips? Are the tips noticeably different? Are they foamy?
I think they are. I know I've tried the Comply foam tips like I know you have and lots of others have. I don't think they're as foamy, as strong as those, but they do kind of sit in the middle. They're less rubbery. They don't feel like they kind of squish when you go in your ears as much. They feel stronger. And I think that's actually how Apple is achieving so much of the 2 times better ANC is because it's still the same H2 chip. So a lot of it comes down to the fit. So between the foam tips and I don't know the exact way to describe the bud shape now, but it's kind of like bulbous. Like it's meant to go deeper into your ear and rest there more so than resting on like the outside. So the fit, I would say, in my 10, 15 minutes with them, definitely felt a lot better.
Do you think it will be more secure? Because the silicone ones, if I wore them for an extended period of time, they would start slipping. And that's why I went to the Comply, which I still have. These are my AirPods Pro 2. Those are the Comply little tips there. And those always made them rock solid. Do you think these will be more secure?
I think so. That's my hope. And because AirPods Pro have always fit me really well. Like I'm lucky in that regard, I guess, because they're so good and I love that they fit so well. But the one place where they've always fallen down is when I laugh or I smile a lot while I'm wearing them, they kind of slip out and just gradually fall. So using
Is that why you never smile?
Yeah.
Is that why I've never seen you smile? Okay, just making sure.
Pretty much. But that's why I think the foam is helpful, is because it has that added layer of grip. Not as much as the Comply tips, though.
Okay, well, I'm going to see. Jason, I forget. When you do AirPods Pro, you use the built-in silicone tips, or do you use Comply?
Yeah, I don't mod my AirPods Pro. I've never really had this problem that you guys are talking about. Really? Although I'm not gonna lie, there's times when I'm wearing my AirPods Pro 2 with USB-C, whatever the heck the name of these things are. But you go to the bathroom and you're like, I shouldn't lean over right now because I'm not 100% sure that these are going to stay in my ear. But I've literally never had an AirPod Pro fall out of my ear unless I was wearing one to sleep, which doesn't really happen.
Although now they can detect that you have fallen asleep and pause your media. That's an iOS 26 feature coming soon.
That's insane.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, so those are AirPods. Those are my questions. But what I really want to hear from you is about iPhone Air and iPhone 17 Pro. Another 9to5Mac article. As you can see, I shared Apple's website a second ago. I hope that was all right.
That's
Chance.
okay. Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. The iPhone, this was a great breakdown. When people on social media are asking, I can't choose between the Air and the Pro models, I've been sending them this article because it's a breakdown basically of all the trade-offs that you would get going from the Pro models to the Air. One, the A19 is binned, one less GPU core, slower USB-C port. You only get 2.0 speeds instead of 3. Deeper dynamic island, which maybe you can explain what that actually means in a second, because I don't know. Mono speaker, which was actually a big deal for a lot of people. The Air only has one speaker, whereas the Pro models would have the stereo sound, 2 speakers. Slower wired charging, and of course the connectivity. There's no millimeter wave, whether that's a big deal for people. But honestly, the slower charging, slower USB-C port, and of course the single camera, those are some pretty big caveats. But Chance, tell me, what was it like actually being there holding the Air? Is it as striking and surprising as it is, and is there a reason for this to exist? Because Jason needs convincing.
What I've been saying is that it feels in the hand even better than you'd expect based on Apple's photos and videos. The combination of a 6.5-inch screen, which is not as big as the Max, but bigger than the Pro and the base model. The combination of that with the ultra-thin design, with the light design, because I think the weight is a big factor, especially compared to the Pros, which just keep getting heavier. It feels pretty striking. And I don't necessarily know why it exists other than the fact that it's fashion. And I think that's something that's totally fair. Like you can make a product because it looks cool. You can buy a product because you think it looks cool, even if it's not as powerful or as advanced as the next product up in the lineup.
Is the weight as striking? Like when you hold it, does it, even because it's bigger, does it feel significantly lighter than the Pros and even the 17s, or what is that like?
It doesn't feel that much different than the base 17 because I think on paper it's about 7 grams between the 17 and the 17 Air.
Right.
But the difference between the Pro and the Pro Max is pretty striking, especially the Pro Max because, again, the screen's not as big, but it's close enough to where there is a similar feeling in the hand in terms of holding it and using it.
Well, there's now a huge battery in the Pro too, like massive. Jason, do you have questions for Chance?
I have 2 questions.
All right.
The first one is, wasn't the entire reason for going to aluminum because it would be lighter? Like, I don't understand. This phone is heavier than the old Pros. And I feel like not the 17 Air, but you just mentioned like with the Pros continue getting heavier, and I'm like, and I just looked, and obviously like that's true, but that's insane. Like the iPhone Pro, the iPhone 16 Pro is a very heavy phone, and it was lighter than it was when it was made out of steel. And I assumed that when they make it out of aluminum, it was going to keep getting lighter because glass is not a lightweight substance necessarily. So like. They keep making it. Yeah. So is that the reason this one exists? Because then they get the permission to start making other phones heavier?
Well, they did pretty much say that during the keynote where they said the Air allowed them to stretch the Pro to even higher levels. But
we just didn't know they meant weight, apparently.
Yeah. I mean,
we're going to get to that Ozempic comment in a second because there was an interview about that. And to be clear, 16 Pro, 7.03 ounces. 17 Pro, 7.27 ounces, so 17 heavier than 16. Air is 5.8, lighter than both.
The reason that the Pro is heavier despite going to aluminum is I think the factor. So going into the event, we had questions about why they were going from titanium to aluminum, despite marketing titanium as like the biggest iPhone 15 feature. And if there was a reason for the plateau other than just making it look different. And I think we got answers to both of those in the fact that the batteries are just huge. And also the thermals are so much better than they were on the 15 and the 16 Pro. And if you read Apple's press release and even in the keynote, they specifically highlight that the A19 Pro and the 17 Pro and 18 Pro, or 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max give you 40% better sustained performance compared to the 16 Pro. You don't see Apple make those year-over-year processor comparisons very often. It's usually, here's how it performs to 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So the combination of the aluminum for the better thermals and the vapor chamber and the bigger battery, all of that, I think, contributes more to performance and battery life than people, I think, will expect based on paper.
Well, and so the other question that the battery life they made a huge deal about was there's like a point when Jaws is talking about we removed the eSIM and you get 2 more hours of battery because of that. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's a meaningful increase. But were you surprised that if they were introducing the Air? So like the question for me is why does it exist? It would make sense to me if the Air was like significantly better than the base phone in so many ways, and in some ways it is. But they actually made the base phone better than 2 years ago, the Pro phone, like in a lot of meaningful ways. It's lighter, other than the fact that I guess you apparently get 8 cameras now on the Pro. Somehow that math works out. Yeah. I don't really know how that happens. They said it's comparable to carrying 8 professional lenses.
Yeah.
Listen, I've carried 8 professional lenses. There's a big difference. But anyway, were you surprised though at how good they made the base model and then introduced this Air? And I know I'm ruining Steven's like whole rundown here because I'm just jumping around.
The base model iPhone 17 I think has been like flying under the radar for most people because we're so focused on the Air and the Pro. But yeah, adding Pro Motion to the base model iPhone, that alone is such a big update because like I remember where I was when I used Pro Motion on an iPhone for the first time.
Yeah.
That's how big of an upgrade to the experience it is. The pricing on the 17 versus the 17 Air is weird because 17 Air is $999. The base model is $800. That's $200. That's a bigger gap than between the 16 and the 16 Plus, which I think is logical if you acknowledge that the 17 Air is the fashion device. It is meant to look good. And if you look at the MacBook lineup, I've been using this comparison, which is if you show people the MacBook Pro versus the MacBook Air, like if somebody asks an Apple Store employee which they should buy, the Apple Store employee will explain the MacBook Air is thinner, lighter, but it still has great battery life. It still has the M4 chip. The MacBook Pro is thicker, heavier, has better performance, but has about the same, if not worse, battery life, depending on which processor configuration you go with. Those compromises, most people will lean towards the MacBook Air. But if somebody goes into an Apple store and they say, I'm looking at the iPhone Air versus the iPhone Pro, the conversation's a lot different because you're saying it has less battery life, you're saying it has fewer cameras, and that alone is going to push more people towards the Pro. So I think for most people, the Air won't really be a consideration. It's not going to sell as well as the base model or the Pros. It's just another option in the middle, kind of trying to fill that spot that Apple's always tried to fill and always tried to fill and has always failed to fill.
I think it'll sell better than the Plus did.
Yes, I think
because
so.
it's a different body style.
Yes.
So it's basically the iMac at this point of iPhones.
Yeah.
No one actually buys them, but man, they look really, really good.
Or this is it's kind of the 12-inch MacBook of the iPhone too, which was crazy expensive for what it was. But
what are you going to use
the same number of
crossbody?
ports, by the way.
Yeah,
same number of ports as an iPhone.
Same number of ports. Chance, are you going to use the crossbody strap?
I will not, but I will say that thing was sure popular in the hands-on area. People were slinging it around. It got cheers in the Steve Jobs Theater when they showed it on the screen.
Really?
There's a market for it. And it's $59, which is just...
we're not the target audience apparently, but Jason's like, he wants to see somebody on a bicycle wearing it.
No, I don't know. When they got to that point of the keynote, I literally thought to myself, like, this is ridiculous. No one in the world there's a 0% chance I'm ever going to put this thing around my neck and carry it around. But I showed it to my teenagers and they're like, that's sweet. I would 100% do that. Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Well, listeners and viewers, leave us that voice memo. I want to know if you're going to use that body strap, I want to know. Tell me about the bumper case. Apple brought back the bumper from the iPhone 4 era. Do you like the bumper?
I do like the bumper. It fits on there incredibly snug compared to the 4 and 4S bumper, which was kind of rubbery and kind of had some flexibility when you took it off. But this is so rigid, which means it sits really close to the frame of the iPhone, which contributes to the fact that it still feels thin and still feels light. And on the front, it gives you that layer where if you drop it face down, the screen is slightly raised up from the concrete because of the edge of the bumper.
Right.
But on the back, that camera Mesa still is going to hit the concrete.
Speaking of that camera Mesa, you have a picture of it here, and I just have to mention again, this MagSafe battery has got me the most mad of anything at this event. And did you get to try it like on your own phone while you were there?
Yeah. It just barely doesn't fit. It's sad.
If you put it on perpendicular, do you know if it works?
I didn't try that, but I can report back.
No, you have to report back. I'm going to get mine tomorrow. I will report because I'm so mad about all of that.
Okay, Steven, I figured it out. I got a theory. I'm going to run it past the both of you, and I think this. Yes. I've actually been thinking about this because I almost wrote an article that was like, they finally brought back the best iPhone accessory that they ever made. That's maybe an exaggeration, but it's pretty close. And then Steven's like, no, they actually didn't bring it back for anything except for the iPhone Air. But I think it's because they don't need to make batteries for any of these phones because people make them. Okay. And making a battery is a tacit admission that the battery in this device isn't up to what they want, which is that you can use this thing all day and you're not going to ever have to worry about the battery, which they are willing to make that statement about the iPhone Air because you're trading off battery life for the fact that it's a fashion item or whatever, and putting that battery on there, it's not that much thicker than just the base model iPhone at that point, I think. It is, but it's not like much. It's not like me putting like one of the Anchor battery packs on the back of it or something like that. So I think that the reason they made it fit only the Air, one, is because they had more vertical space. They could add more battery and make it slimmer. I get all that. But I think really they don't want to admit that most people walk around carrying batteries at this point because people who use iPhone, like I've never made it through an entire day with my iPhone 16 Pro, like because I'm using it constantly. Listen, when I say that, what I mean is it gets below 30% and then I'm like, the world has come to an end. Yeah. I have to charge it back up. Because I am a battery percentage person.
Too much battery anxiety.
Yeah,
that's
turn it off.
Right there. That's the problem. Are you off your battery percentage?
I'm off. Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to mention because we really need to get to the Pro colors because I really need your help. Pre-orders are tomorrow as we record. But you did cover there was a Wall Street Journal interview with Tim Cook and other execs. In the caption of the photo of the Wall Street Journal article, it says iPhone for the Ozempic era, which is wild. I don't even know why.
When I first saw that quote, I thought an Apple executive had said it, and I was like, "Oh boy, that's not a good thing to say."
This is going to be good. I can't wait to write this article.
It reminds me of like years ago. I think it might have been shortly after he became CEO. Tim Cook was talking about Apple stores, and he was like, "Whenever I'm feeling kind of down, I just wander into an Apple store. For me, Apple stores are like Prozac." And I was like,
Wait, he said that?
Yes, he said that.
Oh, no. Wow. Well, yeah, this was not an Apple exec saying it. It was the author or whoever wrote the caption. But I think it's interesting that I believe it was Tim Cook said, I like that it's a hard choice.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, Anderson, I'm sorry. Anderson said, I like that it's a hard choice between the Air and the Pro for users who might appeal to both. And they're just really excited about the Air, and people are going to really struggle with it. Anyway, all right. I need to get to the pros because, like I said, I need your help. So the pros, let me go down. I have to find the photos. iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, no space black option. Did anybody ask anybody on the floor at Apple, like, why no space black or black?
No, not that I heard.
It's just...
I mean, it's probably just because that was the least popular color last year. Like, they would not kill off a color that was popular. You have to keep the white one, right? You just, like, you have to have that one because that's... I don't know that it's the most popular color. I don't know that anybody... like that's not a piece of information you're ever going to get out of someone at Apple.
No.
But I'm sure that that's true. Like, you have to have a neutral device, right? And then you can have other options. And I'm wondering if they're just, like, not enough. The dark blue one is close enough. I don't know.
Yeah, the dark blue is bluer than, like, the Midnight MacBook Air, but not as black as the black. Yeah.
Which version of the Midnight MacBook Air? Because I've had two of them. They are not the same. The fingerprint version or the non-fingerprint version?
That is true. So you got the orange, the silver, and the deep blue. Chance, which one are you getting? I need to know.
Well, I think I'm buying the Air, so that...
You're going with the Air?
I think I'm going with the Air.
You don't think the camera losing the telephoto and ultra, you're not going to mind all that?
Well, partially because I think my wife is going Pro Max, so we'll have an iPhone with...
You go to baseball games, though. Imagine that 8X telephoto.
I mean, you're not saying anything I don't already know, but as of right now, I'm going Air. But if I was going Pro or Pro Max, you got to go orange, don't you? Like,
no, you don't. I'm not. I can't. I keep looking at it. I keep seeing the Michelangelo Ninja Turtle comparisons when they put a green case on it. And listen, I'm all about a green case. If you didn't know, I have my own case from Mondar.
I saw that. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Beard.fm/case. Anyway, I can't do the orange. It's too bright. And so if I was between the deep blue and the silver, but from all the pictures, Tyler Stallman had some of the best pictures that were stolen 1,000 times on Threads.
Yeah.
But even in those pictures, the silver and the deep blue, like the camera plateau feels a little plain or just kind of bland. What is it like in person? Like, do these look okay in person?
They look okay in person. If the color that hides, I guess is the right word, that hides the two-tone design more and kind of makes it all look like one unit is the deep blue.
Yeah.
But I personally would probably go silver just because I'm tired of dark colored phones for the most part.
Yeah. I agree.
I think if you're going to do video with it, like YouTube with it, the silver is going to look, if you're not going orange, the silver will look better. Otherwise, you'll be battling the fingerprint problem a lot.
Do you think people actually like the orange color, or do you think people just thought they were supposed to like the orange color? Because I don't understand why anybody, even if I like the color orange, right? Like I use this, I still have like one of these LaCie Thunderbolt, like USB-C cables and whatever. I use it all the time. I love orange. This is like not a good color. Can we all just agree on that? I know that's going to be a controversial take. Our listeners are going to have problems with me. That's fine. Email the other guy at Primary Tech. It's fine. Like, whatever. I don't care. But did you think people really like this color, or do you think that people just liked the fact that they put a color on a Pro phone that actually has a little bit of vibrancy to it?
I think it's a combination of both. It's orange, and it's unapologetically orange. Like, you can't... I would rather them do this than say it's orange and it looks like rust or like a brownish.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the fashion thing too. Like, orange is very in right now. It's like
Dua Lipa, she already got her orange iPhone.
Taylor Swift's new era is all orange. So
I agree. Orange. You said this is like unapologetically orange. I'm like, this is punch you in the mouth orange. Like, I understand orange is like a popular color. Okay.
Yeah. I think, Jim, I think you're right. The pop culture side of it, I think, it will reach out.
But they've never done that on a Pro phone before. That's always been something they've done on the other devices.
Correct. Which, I mean, they've made something appealing about all of them. You know, the orange is going to be appealing to some. The Air body style is appealing. The 17 base models with all the upgrades to the display and even the camera, 40 megapixel ultra wide on the 17 is a big deal. So before you go, because Chance has to go, he has important things to do.
He has to go run this website you keep showing us.
I know that he's got to run this website. The Scrum, is this the first Apple event where you have seen Mr. Beast there?
Yeah, that was interesting. That there was Mr. Beast. There was Travis Scott, which a little bit don't know. That's a great association to make for Apple. But there were a couple other YouTubers who I didn't, or there's a lot of YouTubers there, but a lot of Mr. Beast, like that type of YouTuber there that I didn't recognize. Yeah.
What like vibe wise? I mean, you've been to iPhone launches for years.
No, this is only my second.
Oh, this is only your second.
Yeah.
So you got my spot.
I was there 2 years ago. I was there.
That's right. So you were here. So you were there for the iPhone 15 and the 17. Is that right?
Yes, and my colleague Zach was there for the 16 last year.
That's right. So from your 2-year experience, the 15 to the 17, does it feel like the vibe has shifted in regards to maybe who is there covering it or who they're trying to reach, or just report on vibes?
The vibe is definitely, I was telling Zach as we were descending down the stairs into the theater that you could probably count on just a few hands how many people who were there whose primary form of covering Apple is writing. And especially United States-based writers, because there's a very big group of international media that's there, and that's been the case for years. The difference is the balance of written outlets versus longer form. I mean, everybody on YouTube plays the shorts game and all of that, but people who are primarily longer form video creators than people who make TikToks, and then each subcategory and all of that, where you have tech TikTokers, but then you have the lifestyle TikTokers.
Yeah.
And that's the group that I think saw a lot more. There are a lot more of those this year than in prior years.
And what do you think the motivation is behind like Mr. Beast being there? Is it just like the popular culture play?
No idea, other than maybe they want him to lock some people in a room and give them all iPhones if they make it for 30 days or something.
I mean, there's no way Mr. Beast is going to do an iPhone review on his channel.
No.
So that's just very curious. Even a short feels like that would be weird for Mr. Beast. It's just not his shtick. But anyway, Jason, you have any final questions for Chance?
I wanted to know. I did have a question. My favorite thing. I don't remember. I think it was the iPhone or the AirPods Pro 2. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing was the maitre d's walking around with the little platters. So this would have been the year the last time you were there, probably. They walk around with the platters, and every time you walk up to the table to try out a pair of them, they take a clean pair out and they give you your own pair of AirPods to try, and then they take it and then they descend to somewhere with those AirPods. I just want to know, are they still passing around platters of AirPods?
They are. Okay, they're special platters. They have little holders for each pair of AirPods. Yep. Still
that was my favorite thing. I just was like, here's the reason why. Someone seriously thought this through. Like, they don't want to just set them on the tables and have you pick them up like you do an iPhone. I loved that. So, okay, good.
All right. So you're getting the iPhone Air.
Yes.
You upgrading to the Ultra 3 or Series 11 Apple Watch?
I'm keeping my Series 10. There's no reason to go Series 10 to Series 11. I mean, you get sleep score and you get, what's the other thing? Hypertension are both going back 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you get all those features. So it's just maybe a better display at wide angles. That's pretty much it.
Not even the display on the Series 10 versus 11 is identical. Slightly more scratch resistant, I think, but still
scratch resistant.
The Ultra is the one where you get the wide angle OLED now compared to the Ultra 2.
And satellite and things like that. So, all right, very cool. Well, you can find Chance Miller on social media. Of course, read 9to5Mac.com. There'll be a bunch of links to his articles and everyone's articles at 9to5 down in the show notes. Zach Hall was at the event with you, right?
Yes, we had 2 invites, which was very nice.
One day we'll meet him. He seems like a good dude, so I'd like to meet him. So, Chance, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to keep doing a show. We got more to talk about, but Chance, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Oh, that was great having Chance. And now, I don't know if there's any other Apple stuff. I mean, pre-orders are open tomorrow. What are you pre-ordering, Jason? Oh, wait a minute. I put this into personal tech. I'm sorry. Save it. Everyone's going to be on the edge of their seat. Wait, that was our personal tech segment. I forgot. So just kidding. Let's cover some non-Apple news. Was there any other discoveries that you had heard, though, of AirPods Pro 3 live translation, that's coming to AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods 4, hypertension alerts, And Sleep Score is coming to Series 9, 10, and Ultra 2 models, so you get those. Were there any other features or things that are coming to older models? Oh, there's a new photographic style that's coming to iPhone even 16. There's a new bright photographic style that's coming. New Apple Watch faces will also be coming to older models with the WatchOS 26 update. If you didn't hear, iOS 26 and all of that is coming out Monday, September 15th. Be on the lookout. I'm going to have lots of videos around that time. But anyway, was there anything else? Any other discoveries that you had seen or made?
No, I mean, and I was watching through some of the videos, like iJustine had a video, and just trying to because that's when it's in the hands-on area and you're talking to the product people who are at the table, you find out a lot of things. It's not like they tell you things that they're not supposed to. These people are very, very well trained, but they just can't fit everything into a keynote. And so sometimes watching those videos, you'll learn some stuff. Although the flip side of that is when especially YouTube creators are trying to get something out quickly for that, like there's so much of a focus on I've got to get the video of just the products and stuff that it's harder for them to probably get that kind of information. But my point in saying that is I didn't really come across anything that was that we didn't already really know. Actually, I didn't find anything in the video presentation that we didn't already know.
It was so fast, Jason, because I was trying to take pictures and post on social media, also take notes from my video and the podcast, and it just felt so fast, the whole event, which I don't know. I guess that's the style, but
you're like, could everybody just stop for just a second, please? Can we all just take a quick break and just...
The only break was when they were talking about the chips and GPUs. That would be the only moment I would have to be okay, well, let me post some of these photos I took.
Right.
Because no one's really going to care about how many GPUs are in the whatever. But I mean, some people do. I'm not saying nobody, but it's for social media. It's not something I was going to post. But anyway, I actually just got a delivery from Apple. I don't know if it's a case. I don't know if it's the MagSafe battery. So I'm going to go grab the delivery real quick.
All right.
And then we can talk live on the show. So give me 1 second. All right, I literally just received a delivery as we were recording the show. The TechWoven case, which I ordered one of these. I ordered a silicone case, of course, the MagSafe battery. So I'm going to take it out right now. We're live on the show, and we're going to see how easy this thing can be scratched. Did you order any of these? What case are you going to get? My green leather case. That's the answer, is the Ondar Hunter. Anyway.
Yeah, that one. That's what I was going to get.
Yeah, thank you. All right, here it is. This is the 17 Pro Max TechWoven case. This is it just says blue. It is the blue case. It does have the camera control thing, if you were wondering about that. This has replaced the fine woven case, and it is a interesting texture. It is threaded, but it is not obviously the fine texture that was so easily scratched in past years. I'm currently running my nail over the case because if you did that on the fine woven cases in the Apple store, they were always scratched like crazy. This one is much more durable. No scratches. And I think it looks pretty good, actually. I'm down for that.
Yeah, you're going to actually use that? Or you just... You're not going to use that case.
I don't know. I like switching cases throughout the year. I will do multiple cases. I use a silicone when I go to the beach because I don't want all sandy stuff in textured cases, or I don't like messing up my leather cases at the beach. You live in Michigan. Don't try to educate me on the beach.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yes.
Which state has the most beach coastline in the United States?
I mean, probably Alaska, but that's not...
No, in the continental United States.
California?
Try again.
Not California? It's so long.
Just keep trying.
I mean, Florida after that.
No.
I'm not even going to say the state if that's actually the one, because I'm about to...
Of course it is. We have... we're surrounded by the Great Lakes. We're 2 peninsulas, Stephen.
Come on. We're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico.
How many peninsulas are you? You're one. We have 2.
One massive peninsula. I wanted to make sure to pronounce that really well. What U.S. state has the most coastline? Alaska, right?
Well, hold on. So technically coastline implies the ocean, just to be clear.
Which then the answer is Florida. So what do you call it? Beach?
I mean, Michigan technically has 0 coastline because we have no oceans, right?
Right, I know. That's what I'm saying. So
but at the same time, also, if you measure it by just water... land, it's definitely Michigan.
What state has the most water land? What do you call that? Because it's a coast. What state?
Okay. Which state has more coastline, Michigan or Florida? I don't know why this is the thing we're arguing about.
Okay, well, now it says Hawaii.
Michigan has more total coastline than Florida. We have 3,288 miles of shoreline.
Okay.
You have 1,000. We have almost 3 times as much shoreline as you do. Shoreline, by the way, is the word.
Shoreline. Okay.
I just want to be clear. You can't lecture me on the beach. Now, we can't use our beaches 9 months out of the year.
I was going to say, you don't sweat on your beaches either.
I'm just, are you kidding? Yeah,
I mean, in the summer, sure. We sweat all year round. Get out of here.
You're not actually selling this, just so you know.
No, I don't. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's why I like to. So when you go to the beach, well, you do come to Florida. Yeah, yes. I know you come around.
And we go to the beach.
You come down with your family, and you literally go to the actual beach. What do you do? You still stick with your Suti back, or what do you use?
Which, just so that everybody knows, is the name of the case that I'm using.
That is the name of the back. SUTI. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I would just, if I was going to use if I was going to put the Apple silicone case on, it's only because it's the cheapest case I own, not because of because it actually, in my opinion, is the most sticky, sandy, gritty case of all because of that material. So I don't know that it would be my first choice. So I just don't take my phone into the sand. That's the thing.
Well, you got to use. I mean, you use it on the beach. But anyway, I will. I'm going to try and use this one because this is. All right. It is much better than fine woven. I'll give it that. The sides are also woven. The sides are actually kind of like the fine woven sides. It's like the very thin threads, but it doesn't feel cheap.
I will say that would probably be the best beach / coast / shoreline case that you can get.
That's true. That is true.
I'm sorry. I just had to not let you get away with this idea that because I live in Michigan, I don't know about the beach when we have 3 times as much shoreline as Florida.
Sure. I know Lake Michigan is big. Have you ever been to those dune or like that, the part of the shoreline where it's like super steep and people say you have to get airlifted out if you can't make it back up? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Have you ever been to those dunes? You mean the national park called Sleeping Bear Dunes? Yes.
Is that what it is?
I've been there before. Yes. My children have stood at the top of that thing, the exact thing you're talking about, next to the sign.
Did anybody try to go down and back up?
People go down it all the time. There's a
no, but did your family try?
Oh no, we're not ridiculous. Like the point of the sign is simply that if you get stuck down there, they're going to make you pay a ton of money to come and rescue you. They will come and rescue you. It's just going to be real expensive. So,
is there actually cell coverage down there so you could actually get rescued?
I don't know how big you think that this is.
These are the dunes, by the way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so it's the Sleeping Bear Dunes. There's always like videos on TikTok or Instagram of people climbing down, being like, "Oh, it's no big deal," and then they try to go back up.
Hang on,
and Steven. It's very steep.
Hang on. If you're going to show these things, I will help you out here. Okay. First of all,
please.
Here's the sign.
This is the sign. Warning: avoid getting stuck at the bottom. Lake levels are high. The only way out is up. Rescues cost $3,000. Keep yourself.
I don't know about the person throwing up. I don't understand that part of the. Oh, that's an arrow. I thought there was a person like just throwing up or something. I don't know what that is.
It does look like that. Anyway. These are Jason's faceless kids on the thing. And let me do one more.
And that's going up the dunes.
Okay.
Yep. There you
Sleeping Bear Dunes.
The number of conversations that we've had today about things you think I would know nothing about that literally because
I know.
That's okay. We're friends. This is why we're friends, Steven.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Florida though. Florida. Come on.
You guys have a lot of beaches. Absolutely.
We're also experts at stickiness and humidity.
That's true.
That we are experts on.
And when people in Michigan want to go to the beach and have it be really warm, we do tend to go to Florida. That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. I had portrait mode on this whole time, and I don't like that. I wish I hadn't enabled that, but anyway, nobody probably noticed or cared. But all right, there's actually other Apple news or other news besides Apple that I just want to cover in a lightning round, and then our personal tech will be what we're actually buying tomorrow as pre-orders open for the iPhone. Oracle and OpenAI signed a huge deal, $300 billion cloud deal. Part of this is OpenAI hopefully becoming less dependent on Microsoft's computing power as it continues to grow and expand. The deal is also contingent on a lot of things like ChatGPT continuing to grow and advance as fast as it has, which is a high promise from OpenAI. But yeah, big deal, OpenAI and Oracle. OpenAI just, trying to diversify, we'll say, its power portfolio.
Yeah, and the best part of this news, I should restate that. The most interesting part of this news is that the reason Larry Ellison's face is there is because as a result of this deal, shares of Oracle went up, and Larry Ellison's net worth increased by like $100 billion.
$100 billion.
And he became the world's richest person for a period of time. unseating
more than Elon Musk?
Unseating Elon Musk for a period of time. I believe that things have changed a little bit, but yeah.
That is wild. Yeah. So there's that. Actual lightning round. Bending spoons to buy Vimeo in $1.3 billion all-cash deal. If you're not familiar with Vimeo, it's okay. I mean, I understand.
Hold on. If you're not familiar with bending spoons, the important thing you need to know is everything that they buy dies.
Well, okay. So that is why I thought this was interesting. Let me pull up their website. So Vimeo, I've used Vimeo many times in the past. It was especially useful for like, I'm making a website for someone and they have a video they want to use, but I want it to be unlisted and I want to have more privacy than YouTube allows. You know, YouTube, you can have private, unlisted, and public. You get those 3 options. Something like Vimeo gives you more options if you pay for it. Things like you can only embed these videos on these websites or only, by this link. So anyway, Vimeo was like that. They always tried to make a play for like enterprise video use cases, but then also sometimes tried to be like a user video service, trying to compete-ish with YouTube. Never even got close. I mean, zero hope for that. So their business model has always been suspect. Bending Spoons is now going to acquire them. Bending Spoons also owns Evernote, Komoot, and they also own WeTransfer and StreamYard. I don't know how WeTransfer got mentioned twice in this show. You might not have heard the first mention.
It might be why he was laughing. But
exactly.
All you need to know is everything you hate about Evernote, you can thank Bending Spoons. Because Evernote was the single greatest app that had been made up to that point.
Right.
And it is
It is bad. So I find this not like it's kind of sad. I mean, I'm sure Vimeo will be around for a long time. Even at this purchase price, it is like being generous because it's $7.85 a share, which is more than what it's actually worth. So it's being bought for more than it's worth. I imagine it's going to slowly disappear and go away. It will no longer be publicly traded. So yeah.
Yeah. You'll now be able to embed your Vimeo links into your Evernote notebooks that you can't share anymore without paying $400 a month.
Not a single person will ever do that. I still have a Vimeo account though, and I still pay $60 a year because I have some videos there that I've never done anything with. And
to Vimeo's credit though, it was actually a far better experience for embedding videos into like websites than YouTube ever was, because if you do a YouTube video, it's like very obviously a YouTube video and they want you to click on it and go to YouTube. Whereas Vimeo is like, cool, you just want to show video, here you go.
And you get branded, you can put your colors, you can hide things like the share button, the account name, you can do all that kind of stuff. So it was also really big used in churches, honestly. I mean, that's a lot of where I used it because it allowed for more options like that. But all right, continuing lightning round. Spotify, after 4 years after announcing it, Spotify is finally rolling out Lossless. It's rolling out gradually. You'll have to upgrade your Spotify app and enable Lossless on whatever devices you want to use Lossless on. I don't know if people saw my video where I tried to actually tell Lossless from not Lossless with AirPods Max, and I utterly failed. And so I am much less excited by things like Lossless. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a good way to get people to pay more money.
Right.
But also Apple Music just like made it available on everything that they have the high enough quality files for.
Right. And for the same price.
Yeah, exactly. And
also Apple gives you a device to listen to Lossless on, supposedly. Things like the AirPods Max with a cable and whatever.
Yeah.
Whether you hear the difference.
You can't hear the difference, I promise.
I know DAWs and all that kind of stuff. You got to listen to this. I know. But anyway, you do need to listen with a cable, by the way. Even if you have AirPods Max, you have to use a USB-C cable for Lossless with Apple Music. But anyway, I don't know if you saw this news, Jason. There's a possibility that DJI drones could be banned here in the U.S. because it's a Chinese-made drone and company, and there's some lawmakers trying to stop imports of DJI drones, which would affect tons of people, not only photographers and videographers who do drone photography, but also construction and agriculture. And this New York Times article has lots of use cases where drones are a key part of the workflow or the job. And so this would be wild. I don't know. Do you think there's a possibility of happening?
I mean, sure. I mean, come on. Basically, everything is possible at this point. Just remember the 40-pound piece of gold that Tim Cook handed over to Donald Trump, like to prevent this sort of thing from happening with Apple's devices and products and tariffs. And this is just an outright ban. Just to clarify for people, the ban would be on importing them. If you already own one, like they can't stop you from using it, right? They can't. The Constitution does protect us from them just coming and taking your stuff. So like you can still fly. I have a DJI drone.
Same. Yeah.
It's amazing. That like the benefit of the mini one is that like it's small enough that you don't even have to have like a license or certification or anything like that. And that's why they're so easy to use. That's why all these different organizations are using them, because it's a real cheaper than, putting a person in a helicopter to fly around and video stuff or whatever. You just use a drone. And yeah, cool. I think it's pretty likely that it will happen. I'm not saying it should or any of those things. I'm just right now, I just don't put anything past. So.
It was also during the tariffs when the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera got super expensive and also very hard to get.
Yeah.
And so I was glad I was able to get mine repaired with DJI Care Plus and not have to buy a new one. So anyway, and then last couple things, Google admits the open web is in rapid decline. This was a statement, I think it was like an internal statement or in a report in the court case with the U.S. Department of Justice, where, up until now, Google's been very vocal about, no, AI overview is not killing the open web. We're still sending plenty of traffic to websites. Don't worry, wave hand. And basically, in one of the statements, in all this documentation, Google was like, yeah, the open web is in decline. And so I find this to be hilarious, telling, and also, like, I think of Nilay Patel and his Google Zero phrase. Like, I think this is still a track that we are on, that, like, websites, especially independent websites, I think someone like 9to5Mac, like Chance Miller, who was just on, Google traffic, I should have asked him what the Google traffic is like for 9to5Mac. But anyway, they admitted it.
Yeah, I wonder when they will admit that the 10 blue links is in rapid decline, because the worst thing about the open web right now is Google's homepage, because it's just ad after ad after ad after ad, and you try to get to AI overview, which has ads in it, and then technically it doesn't, but I'm just like it's
a lot of
then
ads.
add. Sometimes you have to scroll way past the fold just to get to an organic.
And you do it every time because you refuse to click a sponsor.
I do. I refuse. I don't know why. I can't entirely tell you, but I just do not like it.
It's all right. Yeah, it is something. There's actually been in my kids' schoolwork, one of the teachers was like, we are finding more and more kids just looking at the AI overview in Google and using that as their research and then citing the sources that the AI overview has cited, but not actually reading the original source. And my wife actually had to walk my son through this one instance where she was like, listen, we read the AI overview. It said this, but that was actually not on the actual source website, and the information was actually inaccurate. And so she was trying to tell my middle son, like, you cannot just look at the AI overview. You have to go to the actual source and read the actual information, and then you can use that in your report, and we'll cite that. And so it is happening. Have you had that experience with any of your kids?
No, I mean, we just had our son who had ChatGPT fully write his entire assignment. Our fifth grader, just to be clear.
Sure. Which is, that's pretty young for like, you know what, I'll just have ChatGPT do this.
Yep.
Oh, my word. All right. Personal tech. And then in our bonus episode, I want to hear Jason's rant about Teams because I've been waiting a week for it. But AirPods Pro 3 and Apple Watch Ultra were already up for pre-order the day of the event, and plus a bunch of accessories. And then iPhone pre-orders go up tomorrow, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. What are you getting, Jason?
Don't know for sure.
Still not.
Listen, this is hard because there's a part of me that's like, the Pro, the camera system is really obviously the selling point. There's a new design. I don't care about, I don't think the design is bad, but I don't care about that, right, necessarily. I can tell you I'm not going to get a base model. Right, I'm not, and I am not going to get the Air. I'm not going to live with the Air for a year. That's just not going to happen. So probably the most likely scenario is like a 256 gig silver iPhone Pro, so iPhone 17 Pro.
256?
That's what I have right now, and I checked, and I have like 65 gigs free on it. So I can't.
Why would I
go up to 512?
Okay, but you are going to go silver.
No, for sure. I'm not using that punch you in the mouth orange the blue's fine, but the thing about, I'm just boring. I'm okay with that. But I don't need my phone to make a statement. like I don't. And in fact, I'd really prefer it not, because I don't want people asking me about my phone. So that's actually the reason that it's harder for me to get the new one. Because
you don't want people asking Vision Pro on a plane. You won't do it. You won't do an Orange phone.
I don't want to talk to people about my devices, which is really bad because what I do for a living is tell people about
literally
devices and stuff. But I'm happy to write about it from here and then have you just read it somewhere else, not
because
here.
No one can actually talk to you in the moment.
Exactly. But with my iPhone 16 Pro, it looks exactly like my iPhone 15 Pro did. Like literally, I bought the titanium of both of them, and so it doesn't look any different. So no one had to know like that it was different. But if you buy an orange iPhone 17 Pro, everyone's going to talk to you about it, and I can't have that in my life, Steven.
Okay,
I'm the most outgoing introvert you will ever meet.
But you don't want to talk to people about your phone.
That's what I'm saying. I'm an outgoing introvert. I don't ever want to talk to people one-on-one. I'm happy to stand.
So how is that outgoing at all?
I mean, I'm friendly. We can do a podcast, and I'm not like sitting here like, I don't know, Steven. I'm not really sure.
No, sure. Yeah. Okay. All right, very good. Well, I will show my phone pre-order. The screen is too bright. The screen is too bright. I did the pre-order like the day of the event, I think, and I did this real quick, which was the 1 terabyte silver iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've been waffling all week about changing that to the deep blue. But after seeing many photos, Tyler Stallman, Chris Welch, who's now at Bloomberg, previously of The Verge, I really liked his photos of the devices for Bloomberg because I think they showed off the colors really well. I'm going to stick with silver as well. I don't know. I was close to the blue, but I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to just remind you, wasn't it the iPhone 15 Pro that you bought the bluish color and you hated it? You wished you'd have bought the natural titanium.
That is true.
So
you know what? That helped me solidify the decision even further. Thank you. That's very good. I appreciate that.
This is what I'm here for.
Thank you. Apple Watch? Are you getting an Apple Watch?
No. No. I mean, the Ultra 2 is great. The battery life's still fine. If for some reason my battery health was bad, then maybe I would be thinking about it. But this Apple Watch Ultra is not old enough to need a new one. Like, people do not need to upload. Actually, and here's the other thing is, I do not want to be doing this weird thing where you have to check your blood oxygen on your phone. Like, that whole thing is just insane to me. Whereas this one will just do it. I can just literally tap it while we're sitting here and it'll show me the information right on my Apple Watch. I want the pure original version of that experience. I do not. And so I'll wait until 2027 when the patent expires, and then I'll buy whatever Apple Watch comes
That's
out
true.
that year.
That is true. That is true. That's good. That's a good point.
I'm making all kinds of good points for you here.
That is good point. That is good. I did it just because you didn't buy one last year, right? Yours is 2 years old.
Correct. I did not buy a space black whatever.
Yeah. I didn't either. I did get a 3, mostly because I want to make video content about it. I don't know if I'll ever be in a position to use the satellite feature or anything. I'm curious the display, how different it is, like supposedly less bezel and brighter. But anyway, we'll see. That it was probably unnecessary, but I did it. So I got the Ultra 3. And then you're going to get AirPods Pro 3?
That is an interesting question. Like, if they're bringing the features back, like live translation, I'm not 100% sure. And I keep looking at, because a couple of weeks ago I had every pair of AirPods Pro out on my desk and they're all still sitting there, and there's like 3 cases. And I actually walked into the house after we recorded and apparently had picked up the wrong pair and they were dead. And I kept trying to use them. I'm like, what's wrong with these? I'm like looking at it because the cases are hard because there's subtle differences. It's like the number of holes on the bottom and whether or not it has a lanyard holder. Or you have to look at there's only one that has a USB-C port. I should have just done that. But anyway, I don't know. I think I'd like to try them. I would be interested in trying them. I'm not, because if I would be interested in the difference in the feel with the foamier sort of tips. And I would be very interested in the improvement of the noise cancellation overall. I was just on a plane yesterday. I personally think that AirPods Pro are pretty darn good at noise cancellation on a plane. And the reason that they're good at it is because it's essentially like one annoying sound all the time, right? It's not having to adjust to different types of sounds. Right. But even when I'm on a plane, I'm still typically going to wear like the XM5s or my Bowers and Wilkins or something like that. So
yeah, okay. I got the AirPods Pro 3, of course, as well. These have been good. They're like 2+ years old now, I think. The AirPods Pro 2 with USB-C.
Yeah, they came out couple months after was it with 2 years? I think you're right. 2 years old.
2 years.
Yeah.
I'm curious. The foam tips, also the ultra wideband chip is now second version, I believe, and so I'm curious how Find My will be with that. I'm going to make some video stuff about that. But also sound quality. I mean, Apple is really touting that the 3s have significantly better sound quality, at least for music and stuff. And of course, I do a lot of headphone stuff. So yeah, I got the AirPods 3. They'll be coming on launch day. So I haven't even told you this, but I'm actually traveling next week. I'm planning to record at the same time and everything, but just from a different location. But I'm not going to be home to actually receive my deliveries until someone else will get them, but I won't actually be able to have them in hand until like Sunday night when I return. So it's kind of like I only one other time missed like launch day. It was the iPhone 13 Pro in Sierra Blue. I missed the UPS delivery and I was crushed and I didn't get it till Monday. And so I'm just preparing myself. I know it's silly. It's not a big deal, but I'm going to have to wait. You won't see anything from me about the devices until Monday because I won't have them. So, yeah. Anyway, same time, same place next week, though. We'll still have an episode. All right, I want to hear Jason rant about Teams, so we're going to go do that. Leave us a voice memo. Tell us what you got, what you wanted to get, the decision you can't make. I'll put a link to that. Leave us a voice memo, and that link will be in the show notes. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can watch us, see Chance, see all the things we talked about there, youtube.com/@primarytechshow. Of course, we would appreciate a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. I did have a shout out. Oh my goodness, I forgot to do it because we had Chance Miller with us. But Luca Aesthetics from the UK gave us a 5-star review. I'll mention him again next week so he can be at the top of the show. But you can be at the top of the show. Leave us a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. Let us know what you got. 17 Air, 17 Pro, regular 17. We'd love to give you a shout out next week. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.